While rich in diversity, South Africa grapples with an education system marred by inequality. The legacy of apartheid disproportionately affects millions in underserved areas and restricts the pathway to quality education. But our future can change. The Trevor Noah Foundation envisions a world where education empowers youth to dream, see, and build the impossible. Through our Khulani Schools program, we are dedicated to forging a path towards inclusive education for all. Since 2018, we have made a meaningful impact, reaching nearly 10,000 learners, 600 teachers, and countless community members. We extend our support through initiatives focused on leadership, digital skills, and literacy, to name a few. While we take pride in our accomplishments, it is the stories of lives touched and dreams nurtured that fuel our relentless pursuit. Help us break barriers and create a brighter tomorrow. When you become a supporter of the Trevor Noah Foundation, you contribute to the transformation of lives through education, one child, one community, and one dream at a time.
First things first, I must say that I'm massively impressed by the Trevor Noah Foundation and all the partners that have joined this. I see the vision, and particularly when you just look at the logo. The logo is fantastic in that it is the stump of a tree, and the rings indicate the growth from the center. But at the same time, if you look closely, it almost looks as if it is a fingerprint. And when you look at the outside of this particular logo, you see the African savanna, and you also see the city of Johannesburg. So this speaks proudly of Trevor's roots. It speaks not only of the roots in terms of the city that he hails from, the continent that he hails from, but also speaks of the very immediate society that he comes from in terms of from Johannesburg. And so the Trevor Noah's vision and its mission is to uplift through education, but not just exclusively. They have in fact gone as far as partnering with a group like Faranani, Chivenda word for let's make things work together, and a group called Youth Bold.
I think one thing with the Trevor Noah Foundation is what we need to remember is that we are working on a smaller scale. So we are within 3 schools, and in those schools we try and go into the feeder primary schools. And we don't do this alone. So we have implementation partners that we link hands with, and then we try and achieve these goals. These goals are not separate from the government's goals. They do align in some way, shape, or form to what it is that are issues or challenges within the system, we can say. For example, infrastructure, we know that is a big issue. We know in different provinces, they have different issues that tend to come around, and we hear this in the news constantly. We also partner with the government, so we're not working in silos. I think what we're there is to support them in achieving those goals.
My favorite Trevor Noah initiative definitely has to be the coding club. It was the first thing that I was introduced to when I started coming here into high school. That was the first thing I started taking a part of. And so I wasn't really interested in what coding is, but I started learning what coding was, knowing about women in STEM. And I think having to learn that and now knowing that I actually have an extra skill in coding. So I thought that was so amazing because it opened my eyes to seeing the lack that we have in women in technology, and we need that. And so I started also being interested in technology.
Learners have actually benefited greatly in terms of technology. There are competitions that are actually run through this program in which these learners, they come and get to be trained, the coding part, robotics as well. Those are some of the programs that are run. It really works wonders for these learners.
One thing that we thought has been the common problem, it's been late coming, because that is where learners miss periods and they don't really get what's happening in class. So to address late coming, we have thought of workshops where we're going to be teaching learners how to manage time. So we thought it would be even more appropriate for it to be conducted by us as learners, because things sound even, they are more sensical when you are being told by your peer rather than being told by teachers, you know.
We decided to have after school lessons where we come together, have a maths lesson, physical science lesson. You are looking at one of the best students for physical sciences in the school. So I decided to offer help to other learners in my class and other classes in the school.
We also do morning classes. When we have a morning class, so by all means you'll get there. So we actually killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You come early, that's out of being late coming, and you also get to learn something new in the morning.
Faranani Infrastructure Project is an innovative response to the challenges that our schools have, and these challenges that are related to the infrastructure in schools Faranani gets young people to actually respond positively by ensuring that the schools are in a better condition in terms of its infrastructure.
What I see every day is the rough diamonds, and for me to be part of it, and to see the end product polished, shining, and they're taking the rightful place in society. I'm extremely proud. Very fortunate that we do have the Trevor Noah Foundation. Through them, I do have quite a number of learners who are currently studying at universities through their program, The Grades Match.
Some partners are good at ensuring that from a psychosocial perspective that the student is supported. Grades Match on the other side is good at ensuring that the student is empowered from an information perspective and from a monitoring perspective so that we can get the best return on that investment that we've done on education for that specific students.
My learners at Willow Crescent Secondary are learners that really want to excel. Some of them, the backgrounds, if you look at where they come from, some of them come out of squatter camps where, for example, our feeder squatter camp, Slovo Park, just behind the school. We also have an area, Freedom Park, not far from the school where the majority of our learners come from.
Kulafunda Literacy is an initiative driven by TNF and Nalibali to get the community of Bramfisher being involved in literacy. And I mean by being involved, I mean that one, to get into schools, hire young people in the schools so that they can drive the literacy program in schools. We need to begin to associate literacy development with human development. These two cannot go separate. They go together, they go parallel. One of the most important things is that we do not have a culture of reading as a society.
Reading clubs are important because they help the child gain more confidence, because at Lasini, remember now it's a formal setup, so a child can be told when they are wrong, and it just deems the child's light. So at least Kumarketing Club, there's no right or wrong answer. We're just having fun and then it boosts their confidence.
Once people do not read, they become difficult to solve their problems. People who do not read in most cases solve their problems in violence. The stats that came a few years ago in the Star that mentioned a community that was not reading in comparison to a community like in Rosebank, where in a community that is reading, people are able to solve their issues through engagement, discussions and talk. But in such communities where there are no low literacy levels, where the reading is just not happening, violence is the major issue.
We received the online therapist in the heart of COVID, and the Trevor Noah Foundation. It just came at the right time, because we all were in the dark with COVID-19, what's going to happen, how are we going to change and flip the classroom to adapt to this new thing that none of us knew about it, because at that stage there was not much information about COVID-19. So a lot of us really depend on that. To be able to speak to someone about your fears, the impact COVID-19 had on us as educators, teaching with the mask on, bringing the learners back with masks on, sanitizing them. You know what, that was a lot for us to deal in. We were not trained for that. So at that stage, the online therapist was like, I hope that something like that can never end, literally, because we are constantly have to face situations that we're not trained for. So you need to speak up about that. And my online therapist, that was something that really added value to us as teachers, life educators.
Kliptown Primary does not seek money. Money really is paper with value assigned to it. Kliptown Primary wants things. And when I say things, if somebody comes and they say, we'd like to plant a food garden for you, that is something that Kliptown Primary learners could use. If you come and you say, this year we would like to sponsor you with 100 pencils, those are things that Kliptown Primary can use. If you said we have some furniture, and a lot of the furniture that you see even in this office have been donations from various organizations that I've gone to, and I've said, look, we seek no money. We don't want anything like that. We seek a service, or we seek items that we can actually use. I've had people that have come with jerseys, I've had people that have come with shoes, and even though they may not be school uniforms as such, it warms a child somewhere.
The Trevor Noah Foundation is a fun, energetic, young organization which aims to really enable a young person towards a world that they potentially have not encountered or experienced. And the Trevor Noah Foundation is really just there to help plant the seed, water, nurture, to then allow other players to water and nurture the way that that young person will then show up in the world in the years to come.
We have experienced the collaboration approach, and I think the nice thing about just the different journeys that all partners have walked with the Trevor Noah Foundation is that not only is it beneficial to the beneficiaries, the students or the teachers, but it's also beneficial to the partners themselves.
Last year, Trevor Noah, we hosted a successful grade 9 and 11 career day. I loved it because the learner had the opportunity to meet NGOs, they had the opportunity to meet and network with institutions that ultimately are going to play a role in their lives after school.
The upgrades, they are immeasurable. They did a tremendous job, these young people, and they actually improved the standard of teaching and learning in the actual classrooms that we go to. Our classrooms are very much conducive to our learners to learn in as a result of this project.
You will see how examples is from the Farinani infrastructure project, how they were able to build back rooms and create income for their household. And that in itself is a positive impact or outcome of how, given the tools or whatever necessary skills in that space, how they're able to almost capitalize on that. And that doesn't only impact them as an individual and empower them to be like, I can do this, but it also gives them an opportunity to put food on the table. And imagine how many mouths that feeds.
When you change one child's perspective of the world, you've actually changed the world for that child. So you've changed the world. You know, to repair a broken man is far more difficult than guiding a child. So guide the child when he's young, and you will not need to fix a broken man.
The challenges are systemic. I think when you do this work, you have to be vulnerable and honest to know where you can make change and what is out of your control. Unfortunately, in the history of this country, there are legacies that have resulted in policies and systems that include some but exclude others. And we can't fix everything. I think much of the challenges come from every intent to want to do good, but we too face barriers in trying to change a policy or address the challenge of young people who are undocumented. That was a huge challenge that we encountered in the early years. Young people who don't have access to IDs and documentation, and being able to support them through programs in our schools, but knowing that once they left those schools, they wouldn't be able to access higher education or a job. Those are signs that the system is failing us, and I think we just have to have hope, right? We have to have hope in knowing that every small contribution we make to unbundling and undoing the system is worth making. We have to have hope in that.
But there's work to be done here, and this is why I'm pedantic about the kind of staff that will be compassionate and passionate towards any child, but particularly a child that belongs to the Clipton primary family.
So a lot of opportunities have been created by the Trevor Noah Foundation, and you know what, a big thank you to the founder, Mr. Trevor Noah, for giving back to our community, giving back to our country. Because there's absolutely, I am of the strong opinion that there's absolutely nothing wrong between the kids in the township and the kids in the suburbs.
We forgive children for being afraid of the dark. But how do you understand a man that refuses to see the light?